Welcome to the Spotlight Dialogue episode, the midday show about social media, where this episode we will take this dialogue look for the future of media innovation. Is a sure way to appear in the forefront of sustainability and keep asking questions. I'm your host, Stephen Poon. Good afternoon to all the audience tuning in. The Spotlight Dialogue episode 15 is brought to you by the regular team of Special Interest Group in Circular Society from Integrated Sustainability and Urban Creativity Center, acronym as ISUC, also known as ISUC, at Asia Pacific University and Technology and Innovation APU. Later on, we will hear from Shikha Kedia Bharadwaj, a successful entrepreneur, author, digital strategist, and most importantly, a mother. Shikha is the co-founder and CEO of BitQuest, a global digital marketing agency. She is also a serial entrepreneur with marketing experience of over 13 years in the digital industry. In 2021, Shikha was awarded the Economic Times Most Promising Women Leaders, powered by Femina. She is also Malaysian country chair for brand creation and marketing wing G100 and vice president of the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce Industry WICCI Malaysia. The Millennium Mom marked her debut as an author, and the book was bestseller on Amazon. Hearing a lot about the TikTok, but unsure what it could actually mean for digital advertising and marketing today. Luckily, Shikha is on hand to give us a quick rundown on the topic future media innovation encouraging sustainable living using 90 seconds at a time. Please welcome Shikha Kedia Bharadwaj. Hi Shikha, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good,
Good
Dr.
afternoon to
Stephen. How
you.
have you been? Good
I'm okay
afternoon. Good
actually.
afternoon to
So
you.
yeah, how was your holiday? Yesterday was a holiday.
Yes, yesterday was a holiday, and day before yesterday was my son's birthday, so we were kind of celebrating it
Oh,
over
that was
the
good.
long weekend.
Happy birthday
Yeah.
to him, the belated wish.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So what did you do?
Well, I what do I do? I am a mom to a 7-year-old.
Okay.
That's my priority. That's my main job. And other than
Mm-hmm.
that, of course, I am the CEO of BitQuest, which is a digital
Mm-hmm.
marketing agency in Malaysia and India. So I
Okay. Okay.
take care of the strategy and other elements in my company. And
All right. Okay.
recently, I managed during lockdown to write a book called Millennial Mom, and
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I'm so thrilled that you are here with us today. And it's not that easy get a person like you. You are busy and multiple role, taking care of the kids, and also you need to take care of the company as well, and with the staff, with all the people who are working with you or working for you. So I think it's not that easy. I understand that. So yeah, great. This is really great to see you here, and especially yesterday was holiday, so a lot of people await as well. So and yeah, okay, yes, TikTok, I think this is the topic we're going to talk about. This, and this is very much appealing to the younger generation, especially the youth, even younger than that, especially I believe your kids, and also is really get into these TikTok things as well, not only just playing to watching, but there's a lot of things, a lot of things to be done and can be involved, people using it for businesses, advertising, marketing, and many prospects. So that's the things that we're going to talk about this today. It's going to be really exciting. Okay, Shika, let's get into the dialogue. Okay, let's gradually get into the dialogue. Right. Um, there is no questions that the advertising and marketing industries are experiencing dramatic disruption on many fronts in the way it creates content, distributes content to consumers, and monetizes audiences. These changes are driven by seismic shifts in consumer behavior and an explosion of the both consumer and B2B facing technologies. The disruption reveals itself, it is a fast growth of newer content brands, the increased use of the technologies to drive traffic, and the growth of the programmatic approaches to advertising and marketing revenue. As we reflect on disruption across the industry, there are key strategic questions, all of which fundamentally consider balance. So, Shika, the question here is, what is the right balance between humans and technology across the social media and advertising ecosystem, especially nowadays?
Well, Dr. Stephen, when you ask the correct balance, I think there is no correct way to say that this is the balance. The balance should come from within. We have to be mindful in what we are doing and how we are balancing. It's like balancing your life. We have to be mindful in what we are doing. In the same way, when we are using social media, we have to be mindful of how much time we are spending. Like, for example, we were doing a report for one of our clients, and we found out that on an average Malaysians spend over 80 minutes on TikTok every day. So that's a lot of time, to spend about 80 minutes, which is almost 1.5 hours every day. Of course, this is not happening like, at a span of time. Like, it's not one time you hold the phone and you were spending 80 to 90 minutes on the TikTok, but over the period of, like, 24 hours in a day, we are spending this much time. So this is not the correct balance that we may look at. So we have to be very mindful of how many times we are using these social media platforms and how much time we are attributing to these platforms. If we are mindful of the amount of time, like you can decide for yourself that, okay, I should not be contributing more than, say, 20 minutes a day to these social media platforms. So then you have to be mindful that you are spending 20 minutes only and not overdoing yourself, because these 20 minutes can also bring in a lot of knowledge sharing from different influencers, and some good, basically it doesn't leave you in a FOMO, fear of missing out. So you kind of watch these videos and you be a part of these platforms to kind of not have a FOMO, and at the same time learn from what content has been posted. So there is, as I said, no correct way of this, but it comes from within and your mindful activity. So you decide for yourself how much time you're able wanting to contribute to these platforms to learn from them, and make sure that you contribute only that amount of time and not more than that.
Okay, Shika, how do we maximize our creativity as an industry while integrated data-driven approaches?
See, you have to maximize your creativity by using these platforms to utmost. Like as a influencer, suppose you are a content creator on these platforms. If you see, TikTok is one of those platforms which is very good with even cross-channel posting. So, and I think their motto is mainly creativity through joy. So the way they have designed their backend, you can use that to come up with the most creative content and in a very short while. I think TikTok's biggest advantage has been its format, which is short video storytelling. You know, our attention span today is less than 3 seconds. If we don't find something very relevant within 3 seconds, we may flip to something else. And that's the reason why this particular platform gains so much momentum in our time, because of its format. You're able to tell a story, you're able to tell what you're trying to say within a fraction of, like, few seconds or few minutes. And that's what brings about, creativity today is by telling that less is more, telling more story in less time. That is what creativity is, and these platforms are encouraging this motto that,
Yeah,
less
good
is
point.
more.
I think Yeah, good point, Shika. I think you make some good point, and me myself as a creative person, and I feel that way as well. Okay, Shika, when and how do we shift our business, especially our businesses from legacy operating models to ones that better reflect the future, especially in the context of TikTok nowadays?
See, Dr. Stephen, I think a lot of businesses were initially having the traditional way of marketing. By traditional
Mm-hmm.
way, I mean maybe like, printed papers or billboards, all of these things. We were printing tons of papers and distributing to people in the form of advertising. But with platforms like TikTok and Reels and, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, we are able to convert those wastage into digital ads. And by digital ads, I mean, you're able to reach to the correct audience. So, and with TikTok's ROI more than 1.6 times than, any other platform, I think it is a great place to be, and a great place for brands to be there and approach their target audience in a correct way and reach out to
Mm,
the masses as compared
I
to
think,
traditional
mm,
methods.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I think it is these tensions that now shape the most important consideration for advertiser, the agency especially, and the media companies that convene audiences at scale. Okay, TikTok has breathed new life into direct to consumer marketing. So we call the DTC, direct to consumer DTC marketing. So it is by far the most talked about platform for e-commerce brands, and for good
Yes.
reason. For brands and the teams behind them, TikTok today feels like Facebook in 2007 and Instagram 2013. So, Shika, in your context, how to drive sustainable growth on TikTok?
Well, I think it's important since brands have realized that, their
Mm,
target audience is on TikTok, and
mhm,
they are able to market their products or themselves or their services directly to consumers, it is also important that brands realize that they have some kind of giving back to the society. So they have to also produce content which is about sustainable living also. So maybe they can, if you see a lot of brands nowadays engage influencers to come up with content which is about sustainable living or sustainable lifestyle. So that is how brands are also using this platform to encourage sustainable living. That's why I call it encouraging sustainable living 90 seconds at a time. When I say this, I
Mm,
mean that, in within a span of 90 seconds of a short video, they are able to encourage. Like last year, I was seeing a video posted by an
mhm,
content creator on how to pack your bags for a picnic with zero
mhm,
wastage. And I absolutely loved it, Dr. Stephen, because honestly, I had no idea that we could actually do these small things in our, just being mindful by, how we reduce waste by, being mindful in that small way. So it is these small, content creators, and you won't believe that content creator is hardly 23 years old. So she's so young
mm,
and coming up with such vivacious ideas to
mhm,
have a sustainable living, and I was so inspired by her. So this is the thing about platforms like TikTok, how they bring about sustainable living with content creators coming from the age group of 18 to 24, coming out with such creative content on sustainable ideas that we also as millennials get driven towards those ideas, and we
mhm.
get to know that this could be done so easily. Sometimes these videos make us learn so many things about sustainability. So definitely TikTok is playing a very important role in bringing about sustainable living growth amongst us.
Okay, I think this is all about the masses is important. There's what we reflecting to the marketability. So experience is also one of the leeway to get into the whole phenomenon. So we call the customer experience. So let's look at the customer experience design. So in the terminological point of view, we call the CX design, customer experience CX. So since the consumer now live in a world uh, in which most aspects of their lives can potentially intersect with digital, physical, and social realms, it enables them to interact with brands seamlessly from almost any device. So, as a consequence, what CX design, which is what kind of customer experience design attributes across TikTok, is the most conducive toward cultivating customer engagement behavior, we call the CEBs, and also the customer well-being.
Well, I think the short video, the fact that
Mm,
TikTok came up with this format, I think it's the
mhm,
leader for short video format. They were the first mover in this format. And with the kind of busy
mhm,
lifestyle that we have today, we are always on the go. So I think our mobile device is one thing where we like to watch most of the content today. So the way these, platforms have been designed to be used on desktop or on mobile device is it has been done in a way that it's so easy to use. Even last day, my mom, who is like 65 plus now, she was very enticed towards reels on Instagram, and she tried to use it and she found it very user friendly. So I can say that these platforms have been designed in a way that even a person who is not tech savvy, who has not been on very savvy with the mobile devices and how things operate, even they are able to use it to the utmost level. Like she tried to shoot a reel last day, my mom. So that's what I like about these platforms, that their design has been done in a way that they are trying to cater to all kind of audience, and this experience is what is driving all age group to these platforms. It's the easiness of the creation on many levels, whether it be mobile device, whether it be desktop, whether it be tablet. I think mostly on mobile, that was the essence of TikTok, that they came up with a format which was purely designed for the mobile device, that is on the go. Just on the go, you shoot something, you see something, you come up with a nice idea story about your holiday, about whatever you saw on the go. You are shooting it, putting in your creative elements of storytelling within like a short span of 60 to 90 seconds and putting it out there. So that was the best experience they could deliver, and probably this is the reason why 17 million people in Malaysia are drawn towards this platform, and it is one of the most open platforms in Malaysia.
Okay, Shika, let's delve into a bit deeper for that. How does this differ across industries, contexts, and also cultures?
Culture, in a sense, you mean content creation in different culture, or how?
Yeah, culture in general can be a content culture. I think the social culture, the context here. Yes.
Yeah, I think what happens, Dr. Stephen, is
Mhm.
in general, as Asians, we are very driven towards Western world for knowledge or for any kind of
Mm.
learning behavior. That's usually our style as Asians. So I've seen that growing up in India, we have seen videos on how to eat healthy, for example, and we see
Mm.
these Western world videos on our television where they are promoting eating, for example, avocado is not something that is grown naturally in India, or most of the Asian countries. But we
Mm.
are drawn towards eating it by the influenced by the behavior of Western people. It's important that the content created today be belong to the local culture, things that we can use to consume our or influence our behavior in terms of anything to everything. Like I was giving the example of avocado here. If you see, a similar amount of nutritional value comes in the form of cottage cheese in India and other Asian countries. But that's what we did not know, that we could actually replace it with cottage cheese. So it's important that these platforms are able to bring in influencers or content creators who give us ideas of how the same nutritional value could be derived from a locally produced good or subject. So at the same time, again, this is driving us towards sustainable living in terms of culture. So we see culturally the things that are belonging to our local grown things or locally produced geographical boundaries. This has broken geographical boundaries. This is the good part about these platforms, that now we see content creators not only from the Western world but also our local people who are creating content, promoting culture locally.
Okay, how can organizations integrate and deliver superior cross-channel experiences that contribute to the formation of favorable customer engagement behaviors and also the customer well-being?
Yeah, I think as I spoke earlier about creating good content in terms of
Mm.
like as a part of their um, you call it like as a part of their way of giving back to the society, getting influencers or content creators to do content which is very relevant to their audience. Like for example, today, if you are advertising on a platform like TikTok, you can easily target your target audience. Like if maybe I'm selling a jewelry, so I can easily target women of a certain age group. This targeting is so easy on these platforms that you can use it to even promote content which is creating like a women related society. So if you are targeting that kind of audience, you're able to reach the right mass, and thereby creating a good network of your influencers and followers.
Okay, Shika, TikTok has quickly become one of the most popular social media platforms in the world. But is it worth using for your business? So there's always a hypothetical question behind that. Um, According to my research here, since its launch in 2016, TikTok now has over 1 billion users.
Yes,
And the brand estimate the same 1 billion being active per month. The
yeah,
exposure is truly
very
next
high.
level. Yes. And while these numbers may sound intimidating or lies it or not, it's too late to get in. Just imagine that. But that's certainly not the case. But we are certainly not the alone. So in fact, many business owners, right, are now starting to see that. they could be missing out on this major marketing opportunity because TikTok is so different from other social media platforms. And in 2021, it's new enough to get in early and create content for the brand, but also large enough so that we have an audience right away. So, Shika, how is TikTok different from other social media platforms? So, which is seeing TikTok as it has been getting a lot of media attention recently, but what does the app really entail?
Well, I think there are two, three things that makes TikTok different from other platforms. One
Mm,
is the format that they brought in, which was short video format. They were the first mover in this field, only to be followed by Instagram for Reels and other
mhm,
platforms. But they had this first mover advantage here, and
mhm,
this is what makes them different. This total format of short video storytelling was introduced by them, so that is definitely something that makes them different. Another very important thing that makes them different is how well they have designed their backend for content creators. Like, if whoever is a content creator will agree with what I say on how the backend has been designed. When you are
mhm.
editing the videos, they have got such nice elements to add to your video on how your video can become more creative. I think that is what makes TikTok really different from other platforms who are now copying it. I think if you remember, last month there was this popular hashtag going on Twitter which said, Reels, please don't copy TikTok. So you can understand how important TikTok has been. Otherwise, why would a platform like Instagram copy TikTok's way of projecting things to copy the same thing for Reels? So I think this short video format and how creative people can actually create content and post it across different platforms is what makes TikTok really different from others. And one very important aspect is about TikTok is they are always living up to their mission, which is inspiring creativity and bringing in joy. And if you
Mhm.
see any of the video on TikTok, it is always inspiring creativity, like from content creators. It's such creative contents, and they kind of leave you with something even after one day of watching it. Sometimes some of the videos make me think and feel that, oh my god, this was done so well in fraction of seconds. There are transitions, there is so many effects and impacts that it really leaves something with you even
They also
watching.
can be very funny, isn't it? Can be very
They
funny.
can
They
be
just
very
do it.
funny, they can be,
So
see,
it doesn't
funny
have
is
to
the,
be serious,
absolutely,
Just not.
absolutely.
It's very different from the advertisement we see.
Exactly, Dr.
Yeah,
Stephen. This is the
yeah.
thing. Even some of
Mm,
the advertisements are presented in such a funny
mm,
way, in a witty way, in a humorous way, that it kind of stays with you. Humor is, I think, one of the best way of storytelling, and TikTok has brought humor in the best possible way in the shortest frame of time. That is
mm.
what makes TikTok different from any other platform.
And also, it's kind of like a raw footages. It looks okay,
Yes,
you know.
yes. You see, this is the thing, Dr. Stephen. Today's people do not like, to be always seen something which is very fictionally created. Like, for example,
Mm,
if you are marketing a makeup product and you see a very beautiful model wearing it, you will know that you won't look as beautiful as her. But when you see someone like yourself, who is a content creator, wearing that makeup, then it looks more realistic. And today people want to see more realistic ads than all those model created ads where they have a very fiction way of showing how a body can be, or setting unrealistic goals. So with content creators coming up with real looking bodies, real looking skin, real looking people, I think this is what is inspiring and drawing people towards these platforms, and brands to advertise. You see, bigger brands are now engaging
mm,
more influencers than models to market
mm.
their products.
Yeah, you're
Because
right. You're right. Actually.
yes, because models
Mm,
are not setting us, giving us realistic goals. At the same time, if you see these influencers or content creators, they look very real, they look like you, they feel like you feel yourself in that place. Only then are you enticed to buy those products. So that is how, or that is what makes them
It's
different.
true.
And
It's true. It's very close to us. it's very
Exactly.
real. TikTok
It's
giving us
very
the
real.
kind of
I
feel
think this
emotion.
is
So
what is making it different, being
yeah,
real
yeah,
and
yeah. It's
being
really
relevant.
real. Yeah, this we always talk about. Hey, come on, keep it real. Stop all these
Exactly. So real.
pretentious. That is
Yes.
true. Okay, Shika, the the comprehensions of sustainability from the perspective of TikTok users and to understand how they understand the different dimension of sustainability and what kind of importance those have in their lives. The knowledge can be then used to create more informative and relevant sustainability content for branding in TikTok. So, what do you think? Is TikTok an effective channel to educate the public, especially the youth, about sustainability?
Oh, yes, Dr. Stephen, definitely.
Mm,
With these kind of contents that I was talking about earlier in our chat today, on how well, content creators are coming up with content, it
mhm.
really encourages youth to, lead towards a sustainable lifestyle. In fact, it has definitely brought about some amount of, seriousness in people. Like, for example, even my son today, in his
Mm.
school, they encouraged that, during lunch hours, they bring
Good
their
case
own
study.
yeah, bring their own cutlery. So my
Mm,
son is now so into it that whenever we are going out, he will pack his cutlery in his bag when we are going out. But I don't have that habit because it wasn't enticed
mm,
in me from the very beginning of my life.
mhm.
So this is how, these platforms have brought about change. When you see those videos, like, my son absolutely loves watching reels on my phone. Like, he will see some of the funny and humorous videos, and these short videos, and he would be laughing his heart out. So, and sometimes these are such learning experiences for them. As I said, that because the school encouraged, and he saw these videos on these platforms about this, how to pack for your picnic. Now he has this habit of packing according to, what he saw. So these videos are leaving a very long term impact on us and our children, which is the coming generation. So definitely TikTok has done a great job in promoting sustainable living, and the content creators specifically, I would say, have done a great job. My recommendation to brands would be to encourage these content creators, and also TikTok to encourage these creators, give them more funds and grants so that they can come up with more such videos, teaching us the way of, living in the coming generation, when sustainability is the most important aspect of our life.
Shika, how widely do users understand the concept of sustainability? And put it this way, because can you imagine that without TikTok, I think things will not be the same like what we seeing now. So I think TikTok is shaping the entire behavior. Put it this way. So of course, a user has to respond to that because it's a fun loving,
Yes.
fun loving apps. So how widely do user understand the concept of sustainability? You put it this way, and also with the assistance of the TikTok.
See, Dr. Stephen, if I tell you
Mm.
that, okay, come, let me teach you 5 ways of how to live a sustainable lifestyle, how interested would you be? You will feel it's a boring topic, you don't want to listen to me. But if you create a very
Yeah,
nice
we need to get it very exciting.
but if you see,
Mm,
if I create a nice,
mm,
60 or 90-second video showing 5 different ways of how to lead a sustainable lifestyle, you think you will be more interested in seeing that, or
mm,
me speaking like, how do you come, children, let me teach you 5 ways of sustainable living. You see, there is a difference in these two ways of projecting. They are both saying the same thing, but how you project is what is going to make the difference. And this difference has been brought up by TikTok, by creating these,
mm,
very funny way of present. Even a serious topic like sustainability has been put up with such humorous and funny videos, that it kind of leads
mm.
us to think that, oh, really, I was doing this wrong. I should have been
Exactly.
cautious. So, because when you
Exactly,
see that happening,
exactly. It's
it
very
looks like
serious topic, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a serious topipic, but it
exactly
can be presented the very funny way.
insanity.
Yeah,
Dr.
it's
Stephen,
just
I'm sure you will agree that, humor is the best way to tell a
wow.
story,
I
and
love humor.
yes. So, and it's very stays with you for a long time. So I think that is what TikTok and the short video format has brought about change. And definitely they have been played a pivotal role in bringing about sustainable growth changes in our society.
Mm. Okay, Shika, let's look at just imagine the future. What is the importance of sustainability in TikTok, especially for the future development?
As I said that, by looking at videos, our children are
Mm,
learning because the youth is
mm,
there. The very
mm,
important part of this particular platform is
mhm,
that it is, guided, or even the maximum audience, like 34% of people on TikTok are between the age of 18 to 34.
mhm.
So you can understand that this platform is definitely playing a very pivotal role in guiding this audience, which is our future. So if we are encouraging sustainable living ideas on TikTok, and we have this particular age group audience who are watching this video, definitely the future that we see with TikTok is about sustainable living and encouraging sustainable living.
Okay, Shika, open for Q&A, right? I think it's a time to take a look at the question posted by the audience. Let's look at our first questions. Let me see. Okay, I think the first question is posted by my colleagues. How can we make sure we do not use social media for too long and become addicted to it?
Yeah, I think we
So this,
started our session with this particular thing. I think you have to be very mindful in your approach, because it has to come from within. You have to be mindful that you set your goal that I have to spend, say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes of my time every day on this platform. And then when you have used it, just be cautious about using it again. Like, you have to really stop yourself. If need be, put a reminder on your phone that I have used it for so long. I mean, apps like Apple have also come up with things like, how much time are you using this platform? You can go and check how much time you've spent that day, and make sure you don't overuse it. So it will all come with mindfulness. You have to be mindful in your approach on how you are using these platforms. Like the other day, someone was telling me that you are telling that platforms like TikTok and other digital platforms have encouraged less paper production, because tons of papers that were used for advertising is not used now. But how about e-waste? So see, everything comes with the pros and cons, and I would not say that sustainability here is also impacted by the e-waste that's created. But everything can be reduced and maintained only when we are mindful in our approach. So I think being mindful is the key, and that is what is going to reduce your time on
mm,
this phone and on these apps. As I said that 80 minutes plus is the time that Malaysians are spending on TikTok every day, and there are about 17 million users in Malaysia who are using TikTok. So you can imagine 17 million people on an average using this platform for 80 minutes every day. That's quite a big time. So if we can reduce this to 15 or 20 minutes every day by being mindful, I think we have kind of achieved our goal.
yeah, Shika, you have hit the spot. Mindfulness. I think this is in
Yes.
my mind too. I think this is great. Thanks for the keyword. I think audience should take this away. Especially based on this question. And also, I received another questions here. Um, right, TikTok is a great platform to show sustainable living. However, the continuous creation of content also generate waste. How can we balance these two aspects? This
Again,
is
as I
from one
said
of the
that,
audience. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Dr. Stephen, I think it's also a very good question, and it's part of
Mm,
what we discussed earlier. Is
mm,
because it's about the balance. If we use social media less, automatically content that is created will be reduced, because content
mm,
creators today are creating more content because we are consuming more content. So as a user, we have to be first mindful rather than getting creators to create less content. So
mhm,
first, let's be mindful and see that by 2025 this 80 plus minutes is reduced to 15 plus minutes. and we will automatically see that there is a good balance between what content is produced, the number of content that is produced, and the number of content that we are consuming. So as a user, let's try to reduce this 80 to 90 minutes to 15 minutes, and automatically the balance will be drawn.
Would it be overcrowded actually, because everything is so short. It's just kind of like 15 minutes frame, in front of the screen. So would it be people still remember after they have seen so many all this advertisement which is based on this kind of TikTok platform? Would it be remember?
Could be that, Dr. Stephen, that the content produced is
Mm,
less because people are spending less time. So content
mm,
creators will also not create that much of content. They will create lesser content, which is more relevant. So
mm.
automatically, maybe the that crowded thing will be diminished, because the total number of content created will also be reduced. So you will be able to remember only the good things that you saw on the internet.
Okay, I have another question, which is from my good old colleague as well, Harsha. Thank you, Harsha. And do you feel that TikTok is oversaturated right now with so many brands already on board? So, what's the next big social need? I think this is a
No,
good question. Actually, this also is in my mind.
yeah.
Thank you, Harsha.
Now, Hansha, that's a very good question. See, these
Yeah.
platforms, of course, if you see at certain point of time, we felt that Facebook was oversaturated, but I think
Mm,
creativity is the keyword here, because TikTok has
mm,
always been innovating from the time it has, of its inception. It is not the same thing that you saw when it was first launched. So if the platform is creative enough to encourage different type of contents, maybe like when they started, they were having very short video formats. Now they have increased it to 15, 20 minutes as well. So with an increase in creativity, increase in
mm.
the type of content that they are allowing to be produced, if that is done in the right way, then the oversaturation will not happen. But if TikTok chooses to be like Facebook, wherein there is no innovation or new creativity or new way of putting out things, then maybe it gets oversaturated. But for now, the way TikTok is moving, it looks like if it is innovating in the way it is doing now, it won't get oversaturated.
Thank you for the insight, and also thank you for those are the sharing. Okay, um, right. Uh, we're gonna change the gears a little bit. We have been talking about and all the concerns that we have been discussing on the show, and I would like you to be able to share your ideas and see what other listener are thinking about that in a little bit. So, a marketer cannot solve content crisis simply by working harder. They need a plan, a process,
Yes.
and the right technology. So DCM stands for Digital Content Marketing. So DCM is the hot new thing that is as old as marketing itself. It is about compelling, relevant, and timely storytelling that resonates with your prospects. Content is not just what, but also how to disperse through paid, owned, and earned media. So, Shika, how does the customer journeys and the importance of the advocacy stage towards building trust for the brand in the social media marketing, especially TikTok nowadays, process lead to engagement?
Dr. Stephen, that's a very good question to come to a person like me who is a digital marketer and strategist herself.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and we have been doing what you just spoke about for most of our clients. And I think when we are strategizing, it's important that the starting stage for any brand to be on TikTok is to start with engaging with sales directly. That's what we always encourage in our clients as well. So when you are on these kind of platforms like TikTok, in the first few months, it should be all about consumer awareness, like making them aware that you are existing, you are this product, but not selling your product, not hot selling your product that buy this, buy this, buy this. If you do that, then you can never convert any of your followers into actual sales or engagement. So, first, try to bring about brand awareness, and that will gradually lead to people engaging with your content. gradually leading to them driving towards your e-commerce websites and gradually leading to sales. So this is how the cycle should be. Like, always focus on consumer requirements and not selling your product. That is the key on these platforms, that even when you are engaging content creators or you're putting up some nice content, it should be driven. Always start with things like, don't start with my product can do this. Always the starting point should be, this is the problem, this is the problem today, this is the problem today, and then try to solve it. Always harp on the problem points and not what you are trying to sell. So if you are focusing on those elements for your videos on TikTok,
Mm.
then it's very easy for you to convert your leads into, engagement or sales in the due process.
Yes, it is a problem statement is important. There's a where the storytelling started to begin. Am I right? So without those, which is problem statement, there's no problem to be solved. So why do we need to do all this? So that's the reason a problem statement is like what you mentioned. That what is the problem? So I think this is
Yes.
important. This is how we begin. Okay, social media marketing management is a very broad field,
Yes.
um, and becomes even more complex when differing contexts are considered. However, surprisingly, it is one of the fields that has received relatively little attention, possibly because exploring this area involves access to managers in organizations, which is often more difficult than access to consumer or social media posts and content. So, Shika, how can social media be used in such a way as to justify investment in social media marketing? So, which is the SMM, social media marketing. So, what is the return on investment, which is the ROI?
See, as per the Nelson marketing mix report that I was studying for a client last month, it
Mm,
said that the ROI of TikTok is 1.6 times as compared to other social media platforms, and more than 3 times as compared to traditional marketing. So I think this already answers that the ROI for these platforms is definitely much higher than what you are, like, investing in other platforms. And more so, like, if you see, traditional marketing usually attracts huge costs in terms of engaging models, in terms of TV advertisement or radio advertisements. Even today these platforms are so expensive, and smaller brands can't even afford to be on advertising themselves on these traditional advertising tools. But if you see platforms like TikTok, it can bring sales to even small businesses. Like, even a small business or home-based business who is selling, say, cooking some nice curry and selling in the evening, even they have a good ROI in terms of, like, the content that they've created. When people see that they are cooking something from home, they are ready to buy it. So TikTok and other social media platforms have been very pivotal in the growth of small businesses as well, because of the cost involved. You can even advertise on this platform starting as low as RM20 or RM50. So it's very good as compared to the traditional marketing methods. And definitely TikTok, amongst all these platforms, social media platforms particularly, has the highest ROI. I mean, that's a figure that's coming from the research that we've done. So I can very easily say that the ROI for TikTok or social platforms is higher than the traditional marketing in any to every aspect today.
Okay, Shika, it would be important to reflect on the cultural differences that might underpin organizational approach or consumer behavior in a specific country. So, what differences exist between countries in their use of social media? For instance, India.
See, I was giving you an example of avocado here. So,
Mm,
when we see videos which are produced locally within a
mm,
certain geographical boundary, we know what is good
mm,
in
yeah,
our
yeah.
region and we can approach
Mhm,
that. Sometimes there are certain things which are meant
mm,
only for a certain geographical boundary. But when I'm seeing content which is coming from a very different world, I tend to use it thinking that it's sustainable, but it's not, because it's not meant for my geographical region. For example, having gin every day or having brandy, it is good if you are living in a very cold country. But if I am in a country, in a very hot and warm country, why would I have a thing like brandy and gin every day to keep me warm? Because I'm already warm. I'm coming from a warm country. So the
Mm.
locally the
Well,
content that is.
Malaysia also warm here.
Yes, when I say India, I also include Malaysia here because the climate
Okay.
in these countries are very similar. Most of the Asian countries are warm in that sense. So
Mm.
I think with local producers or local influencers and content creators, when they create content, they keep local things in mind. Even the things that
Mm.
they use in their video, elements that they use are produced locally, and that is what is bringing about this cultural shift, that now our mindset is no
Mm.
more like, okay, I want to have avocado for
Mm.
breakfast even when it is not locally produced or even good for me. Because imagine avocado coming in all the way from western world to here, and then we are
Mm.
consuming it. So it's no more healthy for us. There are so many healthy alternatives like cottage cheese or hummus, or for that matter, so many things that are locally produced in India and Malaysia. So it's
You
important.
mentioned. Mm. Okay, Shika,
Sorry.
you mentioned about culture just now, right?
Yes.
In your experience of the two different regions, like Malaysia and India, in what
Mhm.
ways are any of these differences related to culture, especially not just only culture, but the mindset, the mentality, especially?
I think mindset wise, I don't see much difference. But sometimes,
Mm.
Dr. Stephen, some things that come to Malaysian as a joke may not be a joke to me, because some jargons, for example,
Mm.
like Malaysians have this habit of using the word la at the end. Okay la, no la. So
Yeah, the
how to
seafood,
phrase
yeah.
it out. Exactly. So
La,
there are
yeah.
certain words that come locally to you, and when those words are used in your videos, those are the cultural things, and that is what entices users. When I am
Yeah.
saying la in a video, definitely Malaysians will be
Mm.
more enticed to it. That is the
Yeah,
cultural
yeah.
thing about
Yeah,
locally
it's true, it's
produced
true.
content. Yeah. So these are the small things. Sometimes my Malaysian friends will tell a joke which I don't even understand, or I don't even think of it as a joke, because those
Mm.
words are maybe joke to them, or it comes in a form of a joke.
Mm.
So I think those are small cultural differences that comes in, and
Mm.
that is what makes content creators in different cultures different from each other.
It's also sometimes it get misunderstanding to each other to become some
Yes,
kind of
can be.
dispute,
Can
things this can be that way, sometimes people
be.
we even take it too far, So I think
Absolutely.
humor is the I think the culture mentality is really part of the
Yes, content
influences
creation.
for the content
Yeah.
creation, exactly like what you just
Yeah.
said. Um, okay, which social media platforms are favored by organizations and consumer, and what consequence does this have your social media behavior, especially nowadays, apart from using TikTok?
I think reels have recently grown big time.
Ah,
Instagram
thank you for
reels.
mentioning that. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
because most of our clients currently,
Mm.
we not only that we encourage them, but they have seen that their sales or their engagement through TikTok and reels have been the highest as compared to any other
Mm.
social media platform today. So,
Mm.
but it also depends on the kind of product you're selling, Dr. Stephen. Because, for
Mm.
example, if you are selling a very serious D2C, B2B product, then
Mm.
TikTok and reels may not be a very good platform for you. Then LinkedIn may be a very good platform for you. So it also
Mm.
depends on what kind of brand you are, and
Mm.
what your brand target audience is, and what your motto
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Based on that, you have to decide which platforms works best for you. But for
Is it the
consumer. Mhm.
Is it the decision to be made? Is it based on the what kind of target audience, especially generational differences? Because we are aiming for the younger audience. So, what is the experience based on that? Who will be the priority actually? So, who will become first, especially come to targeting audience for products for brands?
As I said, that it will depend. Like, for example, if
Mm.
your product is a very
What about
female
your
based.
current experience, especially you're working with so many clients at this
Yes.
point of time? So, who will be your audience as a priority, especially when you come to branding positioning?
See, as I said, that if the
Mm,
product that we are trying to market for our client, or the brand we are
mm,
trying to
mm,
promote, is more of a brand which is,
mm,
the target audience is a younger generation and women, then we will try to promote it on TikTok and Reels. But if suppose you're selling, like for example, last day we are working on a project who are selling things like, stethoscope and neonatal products, so which is a very B2B market, direct selling to doctors and hospitals. So for them, we were advising them to be more on LinkedIn, because it's a more
mm.
professional platforms where your target audience will be there. So as I said, that it all depends on what product you are. That is how you decide on which platforms works best for you. But having said that, for mass consumption, the best platform to be at is Reels and TikTok.
Okay, Shika, I just received a question from a colleagues here. I like these questions, although we try to avoid overdone, but I think I like your view here. So, and I think he indicated that we saw a lot of governments and politicians and even international organization posting in Twitter and somehow in Facebook. Do you think we will see the same move for TikTok?
Well, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Usually, but however, if you see politicians and international organizations, they try to keep
Mm,
themselves very professional and very limited in terms of words or whatever they are putting out, because they're afraid of, hurting any sentiment. So they try to be only on Twitter most of the time. But of course, in the coming times, like if you see international organizations, even WHO and others are posting nice videos on Instagram, so they have started to move towards these short video platforms. But it would be nice to see politicians also posting about what they are doing in a day on a platform like TikTok. I would just love to see that, but let's see. Let's hope that it happens in the future.
would it be the same way or totally different how they approach TikTok, especially the West and the East? I think when you remember our which is the previous United States president was using Twitter a lot.
Yes.
So and yeah, he was a very champion so called in Twitter. So he was using a lot, and he can really stir up all this kind of emotion to the public as well. So is there any differences because of the mentality? I think go back to the mentality again. Is it the way how they approach politicking differently in the West and the East? And look at China is a really big country. I mean, it's a very powerhouse in the Asia Pacific region. So they don't really use that so much. Of course, they have another platform.
Yes.
They try not to gel into
Exactly.
the
That's what I was
West.
coming to.
So, what is your take, especially as the TikTok advertising in practice? Based on the West and the East? Are there differences, or is it just the same? It's just because the usage of the different, the whole usage of the platform different. What is your take for that?
Well, in terms of advertising, we have not faced much of a difference in terms of
Mm,
consumer behavior in East and West. So that is definitely not there. But in terms of you were talking about politicians using it. Again, I don't think it's anything to do with East and West, but as a
mm,
person, what and how you are. Like for example, the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, he posts a
mm,
lot of
mm,
videos on Reels, and of things that he's doing, or wherever he's going, he will make sure that he posts one reel to show highlights of the events that he attended and what all he did. So that is his way of approaching things. But at the same time, if you see most of the other politicians and leaders in other countries, they don't prefer to put up so many photos and videos out there. They prefer a platform like TikTok, sorry, Twitter, wherein they can just put in some words over there, because they don't want to be seen too much. So it depends on how you like, your approach to be. It's quite person to person and nothing to do with East and West world.
hmm
Mm.
I if you look at the population in India, it is really big.
Oh, yeah.
Um, how many people really get into TikTok? I'm not sure about this because I think the leveraging of the population is very huge. So what is the percentage actually people will really holding the phone, get into TikTok, they can see things, what happened, like what the politician posted. So I couldn't find the statistic. So I'm not sure whether you can enlighten us. What is the statistic? based on
Okay,
that?
so Dr. Stephen, just to let you know, you didn't find the statistics because TikTok is banned in India. So
Okay. That's the reason I couldn't find any statistic actually. So I was thinking, how can I find this statistic? Because I want to find out, and then I also
yeah,
can talk about this as well. But I couldn't find
yeah,
anything
because
about that actually.
it's
So
a
would you like to
political thing.
enlighten us, please? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a political thing. Actually, few years back, because of
Mm.
some political issues, the Indian
Mm.
government had banned TikTok because it's a Chinese owned app. So India was
Mm.
kind of banning some of the Chinese apps and products, and TikTok was part of that. So at that time, TikTok was banned in
Mm.
India, and that is where
Mm-hmm.
Reels actually took over a very major
Oh.
market share of TikTok, because it is the same kind of video format. So that's why Reels are very popular in India at the moment and not TikTok. So, sometimes even political situations play such an important role in an app growing
Mm.
in a country. Like if you see, India is such a huge market for
Mm.
any of the products.
Yes, it is.
And
Yeah.
that it had such a huge population, and there were so many content creators and influencers on TikTok in India. But suddenly, because of some political situation, it got banned in India, and until now, we have not started using it yet. I hope in the near future we do start using this platform again in India for the marketing of products and services. But this is how, good that you asked this. It's kind of a
Mm.
political thing, but yeah, it is
Mm.
banned in India for
But
quite a few.
you were saying earlier on, some of the
Yes, earlier on,
politicians from
yes.
India, they were using TikTok. So
Yes,
if
yes,
this is
and
banned,
they had
so how?
huge number of followers. Yes,
Mm, so if they use TikTok, how? But you were saying that this is banned. So then they are
they
using.
were
How do they
using it,
use it?
but later it got banned. It was
Ah,
only
okay.
much
Oh, there
later
was an
that
earlier stage. You
it
mean?
got banned because of some
Mm.
geopolitical situation there.
Okay, okay, yeah, politics is always getting things really
Yeah,
in the very bad way. Of course, things to be
absolutely,
done.
absolutely. In fact, Dr.
So
Stephen,
I
I know a lot of
mm,
influencers who are making a lot of money on this platform by
mm,
promoting products, but suddenly their income went zero. There were a lot of home-based people who were influencers on these platforms. But
mm,
this is what happens. You have to, live up to the geopolitical situation in your country.
yeah, yeah, it is indeed. There's a lot of challenge. You have it has a lot of challenges to be faced, and also but I think this is really good inside the realm, which is the new platform you're saying, and also I see on the rise of this platform. It's
Yes,
just like
Reels is
but
definitely
of
on
course.
the rise.
So of course, it's still people still figure that out. What is that? And I just discovered that. So I see it's like on the rise. Although people really into TikTok and all, so I think it's going to be a competitor, which is it become another competitor. I think it's
Yeah.
very good. It's good for the market as well, which is all the marketer, advertiser, and all the business owner. They have choices. So
Yes.
choices option is always make good competition. So this is a good ecosystem. They're making everyone. It's not like only one brand or only one platform dictated the entire market. So it's not going to help. And also they can do whatever they want. So it's not really healthy. So I think this is good for competition. Competition is always making things progressive and then also make it
Yes.
forward.
Absolutely.
Okay, Shika. This is a great thank you so much for giving us the time today and for sharing all of your expertise. It gave us a lot of to think about as well. It is absolute pleasure indeed, Shika. I appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Stephen. It was a lovely afternoon and a good sharing with all of you watching us today. Having this chit chat, and waiting for lunchtime now. So, yeah, let's have our afternoon lunch on a Saturday afternoon. And thank you for this opportunity, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Stephen. It was lovely to chat with you today.
Thank you, Shika. Okay, a little thought here. Let's look at the nose, and there's a lot of things taken out. That's good actually. Trends, yes, trends. TikTok started off as just a music and video social media platform, but it has since evolved into an app that showcases millions of trends that allow for endless creativity. TikTok has implemented an effective algorithm to show users trending videos relevant to their interests. making it easy to create content that is relevant and on brand to your industry, to our industry, without having to do too much of research, which is easy to pick up. The best part of TikTok trends is that there is always a new one. This makes the content creation easier for marketing teams since there are never-ending fun trends to create and apply to any industries, particularly the advertising and marketing industries. It becomes apparent that a certain style of the video is trending when there are multiple videos using the same sound and structure. You can think of TikTok's latest trend like a live action meme, applicable across multiple scenarios and industries, easily understood, and endless ways to create content with it. With that, Spotlight Dialogue series is a live podcast organized by Special Interest Group in Circular Society at Integrated Sustainability and Urban Creativity Center from Asia Pacific University of Technology and Innovation APU. To keep up with the shows, go to ISUC APU Facebook page. There was our episodes of a truly incredible season that we have lined up for you. So please be sure to like and follow our ISO APU Facebook and wherever you watch and listen to live podcasts to never miss an episode. If listeners are curious to know more about us or find more information, please drop me a line. Email address has indicated on the right top corner of the screen. So thanks for tuning in. Till then, take care and each other. Happy weekend.